The year 2025, India is expected to become the largest workforce in the world. 1.3 billion people and rising. The wave of digitalization and automation is simultaneously altering the economy. Tech is changing the way we work at a faster pace than ever before. Professions of the past can become redundant, and technology can put traditional industries out of business. The Indian economy will have to create livelihoods for this growing mega force in this changing scenario and meet its sustainable development goals. Professional and skill-based training is the way forward. Transforming lives and preparing for an uncertain future. Ushering in this new era of progress. India's economy is urbanizing, and the notion of development is changing. Technology plays a crucial and irreplaceable role. 65% of India's population is under the age of 35. It is critical for this young population to be prepared for the future with skills that would meet the challenges of the new environment. It is believed in ancient India, vocational training was given high importance. From an early age, children trained as an apprentice under a guru. And the guru would impart their knowledge and skills to his students. Through years of dedicated learning, the apprentice became a master himself. It is also believed that the training was based on skills that people needed most to provide for their families and society. Metallurgy, agriculture, jewelry making, textile weaving and building were among 64 other vocations that were mentioned in ancient Indian literature. This form of training in gurukuls flourished during Vedic India and continued through the Mughal era. But during colonial times, the emphasis shifted to the existing modern education system, and the traditional indigenous system finally collapsed.
At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world is India will awake to light and freedom, the end of poverty and ignorance and inequality of opportunity. The ambition of the greatest men of our generation has been to wipe every tear from every eye.
As we progress along the way and after independence, we're talking about the 60s or the 70s, where people did not believe the vocational education was the fundamental, and then the quality of the education itself in terms of doing something with your hands became a questionable commodity. In 2008 was the first time when we started looking at an institutional mechanism for vocational education, and then subsequently the National Skill Development Corporation was formed, which was a public-private initiative, and then a framework through a National Skill Development Agency was formed, whose responsibility was to prescribe the standards, how these institutions must be run, what kind of qualification packs and the course and curriculum content was to be produced. So I think the formation of an institutional mechanism started in 2008, and that's the journey we are going through at this point in time.
ये देश नौजवानों का देश है। 65% देश की जनसंख्या 35 से कम आयु की है। हमारा देश विश्व का सबसे ऊंचा नौजवान देश है। आज दुनिया को स्किल्ड वर्कफोर्स की जरूरत है। आज भारत को भी स्किल्ड वर्कफोर्स की जरूरत है। देश को विकास के लिए और आगे बढ़ाना है तो स्किल डेवलपमेंट ये हमारा मिशन है।
The large workforce that we have needs to be assessed, their levels need to be found, and then they need to be upskilled, reskilled, improved, and most important, formally certified. Today's work environment requires A, knowledge of the domain itself. There are associated practices with the domain which necessarily come only in a formal institutional sort of context. Plus, there are soft skills and employability skills which hugely increase the what is in the jargon called the skills wage premium.
I think what we have done is that we have created something called the qualification packs, which standardizes the job roles. And these qualification packs underlying them are NOSes, which are basically national occupation standards. The government has also gone ahead and created what is called as the training partners, because there was enormous amount of need for trainers compared to what we had in the past. And the result is that the capacity for training as such has dramatically increased in this country. So there are a number of interventions that have happened, A, to skill them, B, to make them a lot more productive than what they were in the past.
First of all is the availability of good teachers and their skills, and particularly because ITIs are across all India. So what we are doing, we have started training the teachers also. So the gap of availability of good teachers in remote areas is also being filled up.
मैंने ITI ज्वाइन करी थी। इसमें हमें सबसे पहले सिखाई गई थी फर्स्ट रूल इन वर्कशॉप सेफ्टी। पहले तो थ्योरेटिकल नॉलेज दी थी, उसके बाद प्रैक्टिकल बहुत ज़्यादा दिखाए थे, जिसके कारण हमारी बेसिक नॉलेज हो गई थी। हमने ये सब सीखने के बाद हमारी प्लेसमेंट हुई थी पूसा से मारुति में। जो लोग आते हैं अनट्रेंड होते हैं, ज़्यादातर थ्योरेटिकल नॉलेज हो जाती है, प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज कम मिल पाती है। इसकी वजह से हमें प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज अच्छी दी गई थी, तो उसके बेस से हमें यहाँ पे काफ़ी हेल्प मिली, काम जल्दी सीख लिया। पहले तो फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन की वजह से ज्वाइन किया था, फिर ये इंटरेस्ट बढ़ता चला गया, अच्छा लगने लग गया।
ITIs, or Industrial Training Institutes, aim to impart 70% skills and 30% theoretical training to the country's youth. Across the country, these ITIs have been going through a series of upgrades as a result of some strong public-private partnerships. Maruti has partnered with 110 government ITIs across the country to impart training in automobile service and repair. These partnerships benefit 6,000 students annually, almost all of whom are readily employed at various automobile workshops. Industry associations with companies like Maruti has led to the revamping of these training institutes. This creates a better learning environment for the trainees, and the use of technology aids in the skilling process. The course curriculum has also been changed to make it more relevant to the current needs of the job market.
Public-private partnership is a very important process, and for sure it is a win-win situation for all the stakeholders. We provide them what is required in the industry, what we are doing, what we are going to do in future.
Typically, what employers look for is not so much theoretical knowledge, but the ability to apply whatever you've learned in the workplace. The skills/knowledge required is applied knowledge. That vocational education system is best which has the best employer connect. And this connect has to be at all levels, determining curriculum, determining content, determining how is the training to be imparted, most important, determining how is assessment and certification to be done.
मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि हॉस्पिटैलिटी मैनेजमेंट होती क्या है, तो मैंने बस जस्ट अपना करियर बनाने के लिए ये कोर्स ज्वाइन कर लिया, जहाँ पे मुझे फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट CCD का ट्रेनिंग मिला 3 मंथ्स का ग्राम तरंग में.
We are in about 4 states, training approximately 5,000 plus candidates. The mandate of Government of India is to train about 500 million by 2022. We want to ensure that this initiative of Skill India is taken to the next level with active partnerships of CCD and other companies. This was going to go a long way in ensuring that auxiliary training courses are another route towards job creation.
मैं बिलोंग करती हूँ एक छोटे से गांव से, जहाँ पे लड़कियाँ बहुत ही मुश्किल से अपने शहर से, अपने स्टेट से बाहर जाती हैं.
Poonam grew up in Bokaro in Jharkhand. She is the first girl to move out of a village to a big city away from her family.
So this is our coffee machine.
She was trained under a 3-month advanced diploma in hospitality at Gram Tarang, an implementing agency for Skill India programs. Her training also included a 9-month on-job training phase, and today she is a coffee trainer with CCD in Mumbai. She is in charge of training other young baristas who aspire to make a career in the hospitality industry to brew the perfect cup of coffee.
For our cappuccino, we use tone milk.
In 2017, Poonam became the first barista from India to be selected for the All-Star Female Barista competition in Mexico, becoming a part of a select global community of the best competitive coffee makers from across the world. With timely opportunities and intensive training, Poonam can today financially support herself, her family in Jharkhand, as well as secure a better future for her children.
This whole effort is not merely the large numbers, but skilling has to be a scale of the appropriate scale, 2 quality, 3 aspirational, and most important, inclusive. Because the purpose of all that we are doing is to ensure livelihoods, better lives for people. And therefore, we need to go where people are least likely to find livelihoods in the absence of skilling.
About 100 kilometers from Benares, MIJWAN is a small village in Uttar Pradesh. "67% of India's population lives in its villages, and training them is the only way to make a strong foundation for the nation." The MIJWAN Welfare Society was founded in 1993 to work towards the empowerment of the women and their families in MIJWAN. Girls used to be married off at a very young age in the village, but now they have access to an education and opportunities for skill development, making them self-reliant and equipped for the future.
जब मैं 9th क्लास में थी तब से चिकनकारी का काम कर रही हूँ और इसी के माध्यम से जो है मेरी दीदी मैं हम लोग अपनी आगे की पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं। 2015 में स्वाखा से नेशनल स्किल डेवलपमेंट का कोर्स आया। ये 6 महीने का कोर्स था। इसमें हमें हर देश राज्य की जो है हमें कढ़ाई सिखाई गई। मैं यही कहना चाहती हूँ कि सबको अगर मौका मिल रहा है तो उसका भरपूर फ़ायदा उठाना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो है पढ़ाई तो पढ़ाई के साथ साथ हमें हुनर सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। कोई भी हुनर हो, चाहे वो कितना भी छोटा हो, उसको हल्के में नहीं लेना चाहिए, उसे मन लगा के काम करना चाहिए।
Equipping the girls with skills has changed the status quo within the family in a patriarchal society. A mindset transformation has taken place. From being regarded as liabilities, they have now become valuable contributors to the family. The training has improved their social skills and they have gained financial literacy and mobility.
हमारा वही ताकत है। सुई धागे को जैसे लेके कुछ लोग मुझे ये कहते थे कि इसमें क्या भविष्य है, लेकिन मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता है कि इसमें भविष्य नहीं। मेरे पिताजी थे कहते थे अगर जूता पॉलिश करने वाला जो है अच्छे से पॉलिश करता है वो भी फेमस होता है।
The MIJWAN Welfare Society partnered with India's celebrated fashion designer Manish Malhotra in 2009. A fashion event showcasing garments designed by him and crafted by the women of MIJWAN has captured the limelight every year since then. And this year too was no different.
Said, why don't I adopt the village? Why don't I start, chicken curry, and why don't I start working with them? And now it's 9 long years. I keep glamorizing it as much as I can and putting on actors and people and so they can also feel good.
मैंने सपने में भी नहीं सोची थी कि जो है हमारे कपड़े इतने बड़े बड़े फिल्म स्टार पहनेंगे और हमारे बनाए हुए कपड़े इतने सुंदर हैं, इतने फेमस हैं।
This is my first time in Bombay. I can't compare MIJWAN to Bombay.
मैं आपको बता नहीं सकती मैं कितना ज़्यादा खुश हूँ। मतलब आज मुझे लग रहा है कि हम लोगों का काम कितना मशहूर है।
I'm glad you talk about skills because I think it's directly proportionate to the development of any nation.
Those skills, of course, need to be developed, but they should not always be top-down. I feel it is also important that what is the demand of that society, what is their affiliation, what do they like. We have to respect labor much more than we do.
Which skills to develop have to come from the ground up, from the region that you're seeking to develop, and you have to find out what is their idea of development, what are their strengths. And once you get into that, then skill development really makes sense.
Not just to be financially independent, but also to have confidence to dream big, to have a certain sense of, to break the shackles of patriarchy. I think that's something that's very important.
It's very, very inspiring, and you feel proud. You feel proud to see the work that they do and the quality of the craftsmanship and the quality of everything that they put out.
Today, just 27% of India's labor force are women, compared to 35% in 1990. The numbers are declining. Investing in skilling women and increasing their participation in the labor force by a mere 10% can bring 68 million more women to the mega workforce by the year 2025, increasing India's GDP by 16%. The role of women in enabling India's growth is crucial. The government has ensured that all policy initiatives are geared towards enabling equal opportunities for women, bringing women to the forefront by providing them access to loans, networks, markets, and trainings.
ज़्यादातर जेंट्स ऐसे हैं वो सोचते हैं कि लेडीज़ हमसे आगे ना निकल जाए। महिलाओं को मौका जब तक मिलेगा नहीं तब तक वो आगे कैसे बढ़ेंगी।
Lalita started training at the Azad Foundation under Women on Wheels program in 2010, a program that trains women from resource-poor backgrounds to become professional drivers.
जब मैंने शुरू किया था आना जाना ड्राइविंग करना तो वहाँ के लोग मुझे ना उल्टा सीधा बोलते थे, मतलब तो मेरे पापा भी घर जाती तो मेरे पापा उल्टा सीधा बोलते। मैंने कहा कि ठीक है बोल लो, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
Started in 2008, the program enables women to move from the margins to mainstream economy, earning a living with dignity, altering public perceptions, and contributing in the booming public transportation sector. Shanu Begum learned driving at Azad Foundation 10 years ago. Before that, she was working as a cook from house to house and also bearing a big financial burden of her children's education. But 10 years later, much has changed.
10 साल में एक चेंजिंग सबसे बड़ा ये है कि अगर मैं ड्राइवर नहीं बनती तो आज शायद कपड़े ही धो रही होती या खाना बना रही होती। तो आज जो फाइनेंसर और जो स्किल डेवलपमेंट में जो चेंज है वो सबसे बड़ा ये है कि मैं मर्दों के बराबर में हूँ। मैं सिंगल मदर थी और मैं किसी से ना ये नहीं चाहती कि मैं किसी से हेल्प मांगने के लिए बार-बार जाऊँ, लेकिन इतना तो मुझे मालूम था कि अगर मैं ये कर लूँगी तो मेरे बच्चों के लिए अच्छी पढ़ाई लिखाई के लिए और रहन सहन के लिए पैसा ज़्यादा कमा सकती हूँ।
कार चलाने से पहले भी मुझे लगता था शायद मैं नहीं चला पाऊंगी क्योंकि मेरी हाइट कम है, बट मैं चलाई तो बहुत अच्छा चलाई और यहाँ तक पहुँची हूँ और अभी ट्रेनर के रूप में काम भी कर रही हूँ। क्या-क्या कोर्सेज होते हैं उसके बारे में बताऊंगी।
Lalita is now a trainer herself, committed to training other women who are mostly school dropouts to create a livelihood opportunity for themselves, enabling them to become confident and independent individuals.
When Lalita came, I think she came with a lot of doubt about herself, and she was not very sure that if she would be able to, complete driving and be a professional chauffeur. But throughout the training program, she showed a lot of determination, and slowly, because of the kind of training program that we have, which we call it transformative capacity building program, she gained confidence. And this whole stage where they move from I cannot to I can, this is something which Lalita was able to do.
Over 6 to 8 months, the women learn how to drive independently, read maps, understand their legal rights, and also receive training for self-defense.
मेरे एरिया से ही इतनी सारी लड़कियां हैं जो आज ड्राइविंग सीख के जॉब कर रही हैं। ये खुशी होती है कि आसपास के लोग हैं बहुत चेंज हो गए, उन्होंने अपने बेटियों को आगे बढ़ाया और जिनको भी दिक्कत होती है मैं उनके घर पे भी जाके समझा देती हूँ।
The Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana is a flagship scheme of the Ministry of Skills Development and Entrepreneurship with the objective of improving an ecosystem for India's youth so that they can take up industry-relevant skill training and secure a better livelihood. The program has covered 600 districts across India, covering skills ranging from driver's training to solar technicians, from nursing to hospitality. The recognition of prior learning program is one of the key components under PMKVY, where informal skills which are acquired through family trades or gained from life experiences are assessed and certified based on the standards set by the National Skills Qualification Framework. Under this scheme, training and assessment fees are completely paid by the government. This protects the youth from the economic burden of financing their own training and has brought skill development to their very doorstep.
Ladakh used to be an independent kingdom for a long time, almost 1,000 years. With the advent of tourism, it was a really good income generation opportunity for a lot of people. But then also the income from tourism mostly went to hoteliers and travel agents, and while villagers in remote villages of Ladakh, didn't get much. So that's part of the reason that the Snow Leopard Conservancy India Trust had to really started this, the Himalayan homestays, under which, tourists, while trekking, they stay in people's homes instead of, camping outside. And also is a good way of, distributing the income a little bit more equitably.
About 60 kilometers from Leh, the village of Satsputse is nestled within snow leopard territory. There are no boundaries separating a village from the snow leopard habitat. They often enter the livestock pens, killing goats that are a source of livelihood for the people here. The income generated from the homestays has increasingly helped in compensating for the livestock loss to such conflicts.
Acha homestay met sana mana lagla sang met pangachang duk syok no yale. Gena ngacha homestay atilin salpal dene kaga pas kyo de ngacha yasono lipan nas kyo de ngacha tilin sa yale. Homestay jo na zinjig dena angres perigyong duk pa chang ngacha tangcha dukcha singacha su chang laglen jik shesa met pinyale. Dena nya po ngacha kimsa pangcha si tilin sa yale ngacha yulas ngala kimsa mang poyong chen taga nang karang inok pa kimsa. Daksa zuri sok pa mang pos kyo de ta kaga pa Kalesh kyo de ka achoda dul kyo de kong sangma ya tspa sangma shki ka ngacha khada lamston salpate sangma ngacha sangma ta yulpa du se ini daksa yul sap chacha sangma che yul daksa daksmu sap yo de ale ngati homestay ga yong se nang je yong se ngata duk se ngata dikature se homestay shulin duk na yang ga chi ga ina yul na ga chi chana dina ule song dina likila chana.
More than 2 lakh tourists visited Ladakh last year. The services and infrastructure catering to the increasing tourism has to be developed. Unchecked tourism can have drastic environmental impacts. Informed and trained tourism professionals can control unsustainable practices and create opportunities of livelihood for themselves and their community.
Welcome to this 3 days training on nature guiding.
A large number of these people are actually people who've learnt work while working. These aren't people who've formally been skilled in any skill training school or institution, but a lot of them actually have enormously good quality skills. So challenge 1 is assessing the levels at which they are at present and figuring out ways in which they can be improved.
There is any workshop, then I want to join definitely, because
It is very important first to have a good knowledge about the diversity, and by doing so we will have a good opportunity to earn something, for my livelihood.
I think we have tremendous amount of need for newer jobs in the green industry. Not only we're talking about wind, solar, but also you look at waste management. Even there, I think we have done very little, and there is action going on as we speak. And as a result of that, new jobs that are being created.
What we have to understand is when 93% of the workforce is from the informal sector, only 7% is in the formal sector. Even within the informal mechanism, you create jobs or create opportunities for entrepreneurship, which in turn itself create the jobs. And the job situation has to be closer to your place of living, and then the migration has to be aspirational rather than a forced migration.
Pan IIT Alumni Reach for India Foundation is a not-for-profit social enterprise led by the alumni of Indian Institutes of Technology, IIT, committed to creating self-sustainable business models that enhance incomes of the underprivileged. The foundation runs a demand-led training program that is a joint venture with the government of Jharkhand for skill development in the state, ensuring assured placement for students nationally and internationally, and a trained skill base for the industry hiring them. Spread over 10 states, the Gurukuls are set up like work sites, giving the trainees a hands-on experience of the jobs they are training for.
What we do really is not just skill building, but it is about transforming their life. In IITs, apart from what we learned in classrooms, we learned from each other in the hostels because it was fully residential program. So training is one part of it, but what happens beyond training is equally as important. So what we are trying to do here is something similar.
Candidates also receive a 100% skill loan through NABARD to support their training. The loan is only payable after the student has completed the course and has been placed in a job. This helps students from less privileged backgrounds to take advantage of the skilling programs.
Narayan is a very interesting case study where he went through the Gurukul system. He took a loan because obviously could not afford the education which he got for 2 to 3 months in 3 months in plumbing, which he learned. And once he got placed in Dubai as part of the campus selection model, he repaid in the first salary all the EMI there is. And therefore, the point about training is it has to be experiential.
Narayan is visiting home from Dubai, where he works at a construction company who employed him after he completed his training with Pan IIT. India has a potential to have a surplus of 245 million skilled workers like Narayan by 2030. At the same time, countries across the world are projected to have a shortage of over 85 million, making India a possible hub for sourcing skilled labor for around the globe.
जैसे हम लोग गुरुकुल से निकले, हम लोग को सीधा दुबई के लिए रवाना होना पड़ा। शुरू जब इधर से गए तो वहाँ का माहौल अजीब सा लग रहा था। अजीब सा दुनिया, कैसे लोग हैं, क्या लोग हैं, पूरा बड़े-बड़े इमारत हैं, बड़े-बड़े टावर हैं। वहाँ पर जैसे हम लोग का यहाँ छोटा-मोटा गली है और वहाँ आपको ना गली मिलेगा ना पूरा चारों तरफ हाईवे है।
Unemployment rates in Jharkhand are higher than the national average, and a large part of the rural population is below the poverty line. Skills development and training allow people like Narayan to break the circle of poverty and reimagine their lives and the lives of their community.
Jharkhand was selected because it was one of the highest repayment states. Of course, in addition to the poverty indicators, we found the tribal youth and all of these youngsters, they had that personal will and initiative but did not have access to opportunity.
हमारी सरकार ने तय की कि अगर हमें झारखंड के ग्रोथ को आगे बढ़ाना है, तो ये जो मानव संसाधन बल है, इसको हमें स्किल्ड करना, कार्य के अवसर देना। और इसी निमित्त हम लोग ने गुरुकुल या पेन IIT के साथ, जो एक गैर सरकारी संस्था, नॉन प्रॉफिटेबल संस्था के साथ हम लोग ने टाई अप करके ये झारखंड के जो हमारे आदिवासी बच्चे बच्चियाँ या फिर दलित समाज के बच्चे बच्चियाँ, समाज कल्याण विभाग के माध्यम से हम लोग ने ये शुरुआत की। और उसी शुरुआत का ये रिजल्ट है कि मनोहरपुर एक जो पिछड़ा क्षेत्र है, सुदूर क्षेत्र का हमारा नौजवान इस सरकार, झारखंड सरकार के समाज कल्याण विभाग के ये जो प्राइवेट पब्लिक पार्टनरशिप में पेन IIT के साथ उन्होंने ट्रेनिंग ली और आज दुबई में वो रोजगार प्राप्त किए हुए हैं और उसकी ज़िंदगी में अब बदलाव आ रहा है।
मैं अपना जो स्टडी शुरू किया वो घर के नज़दीक में स्कूल थे। मास्टर मतलब कभी कभार जाते थे। मार्केट नहीं है, एक्चुअली रोड का सुविधा नहीं है, बिजली का सुविधा नहीं है, इसीलिए मास्टर एक सप्ताह में एक बार 2 बार आते थे। उसके बाद मेरा अंदर कुछ जुनून था कि मैं आगे चलूं और पढ़ाई करके आगे बढ़ूं। मम्मी पढ़ी लिखी नहीं है, लेकिन मम्मी का एक शौक था कि मैं कुछ करूं ना करूं, लेकिन लड़का लोग को जरूर पढ़ाऊं। मेरा घर आने का एक मकसद ये रहा कि अभी जो मेरे घर हैं वो भी मेरे पापा बनाए हुए हैं, मेरे पापा और मम्मी, क्योंकि सारा पैसा तो मतलब मुझे पढ़ाने लिखाने और 2 भाई हैं उन दोनों को पढ़ाने लिखाने में चला गया। सबसे पहले मैं कुआं बनाऊंगा, क्योंकि पानी पीने के लिए बिल्कुल नहीं है यहाँ। कुआं से जब पानी का सुविधा हो जाएगा उसके बाद मैं घर बनाऊंगा।
We need to do a lot more in schools. Can we bring about a lot of what we require in class 1 to 8 so that the person is in a position later in life to pick up whatever is required seamlessly? You don't actually skill people in a particular activity. For lifelong learning, you actually skill them in how to learn.
Education is very old-fashioned. If you look at traditional classrooms, you can compare it how production was 50 years ago. Human beings are equal but different, and you learn in different ways. And the idea to put 30 or 40 kids in one classroom for 45 minutes, you know that you will lose a number of them. So with modern technology, you can make the education experience much more personalized. And that's what I'm seeing the drive in India today.
VATIV is a company which is founded on the focus and mission to bring learning to life. And for that, we use advanced technologies such as virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, artificial intelligence, and use them to build solutions which can transform the entire way, the way people learn.
Just think of this. This is actually, I think it's phenomenal, is that if I'm studying a topic in physics and I'm in an environment which allows me to do several things, the system could capture what are the areas in this environment I'm interested in. You can really personalize learning. You can really maximize learning outcomes for them.
Some of the areas where it really helps is accessing the impossible. Some things which are not possible in physical world. For example, if you want to get trained on aeronautics and you want to work on the Boeing engine, so that is what I call accessing the impossible. We will be setting up a center of excellence for immersive technologies-based skilling hub. And the goal is to train about 15,000 people over the next 3 years. India is known to be the IT leader in the service industry. I don't see any reason what is stopping us from the skilling point of view becoming the next leader in the AR/VR development.
Look at technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality. They have got tremendous amount of potential in learning. You find that the skills can be imparted much more faster, much more detailing. In the past, what was not visible to human eye, naked human eye, today it can be seen using some of these technologies. So you have higher levels of skill coming in because of these technologies like VR, AR, and so on and so forth. So I think these technologies are helping us considerably in terms of making sure that we get much more skilled technicians.
Entrepreneurship is the need of the hour for large-scale employment generation in India. Experts believe the nation has immense potential to innovate, catalyze entrepreneurship, and create jobs for the growing numbers of skilled youth. The Government of India has undertaken several initiatives and instituted policy measures to foster a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship in the country. By supporting businesses and startups with opportunities for large-scale employment, India can prepare itself for the future.
One of the things that we've seen in the Western world where entrepreneurship really thrives is a fairly strong support of the social ecosystem. Now, I think that change we are also seeing in this country. Certainly, the mindset of young individuals is changing more towards being job creators as opposed to job seekers.
Our major challenges are the changing nature of work. With the kind of changes that is happening in the world, take AI. Will there be anything called carpentry? Will there be anything called fitter? The skills required may be such a multitude of attributes that we will need to constantly revisit what is it that we are giving. So all skilling will need to focus on those essential attributes which will enable them to keep learning. And that's the kind of skilling ecosystem towards which we need to move.